gives a fuck. All right, let's go.
Let's go back in time to 1998 and look at one of the best shot movies of the 90s, The Parent Trap.
What are you, fucking nuts?
Yes, the family comedy starring Lindsay Lohan, directed by Nancy Meyers, That Parent Trap. And this movie looks good.
Really?
This film was shot by Dean Cundey, the guy that shot The Thing, the same person that shot Halloween, Jurassic Park, and Apollo
Good
13.
fucking movies.
And one of the reasons I chose this film in particular is because this is the type of movie that comes out now and looks entirely forgettable. Now look, there's a lot of generalizations being made about modern cinematography lately. We had that big blowout with Wicked.
And it is a big mess.
But here's the thing. It's not a mistake. Every choice in that movie was a deliberate decision by very talented people that made that movie. And it's also ridiculous.
First of all, let me say I didn't make this movie, and this guy looks like the Who guy from Whoville, if you know what that means, or from the Grinch. He looks like the son of the Grinch. I just had to get that off my chest. He looks like the Grinch character. He looks like he can be in a Tim Horton movie. So now that I said that, let's get what he's saying.
That's to say that all modern cinematography looks bad. We've had Dune 2, The Substance, Smile 2, Nosferatu, and The Brutalist, which I think is one of the best looking films of the decade. But it's clear that this was the movie that the audiences really went out and said, why don't movies look like movies anymore? Why do they look like sludge? Why do they look dull? Why do they look flat? This looks bad.
Really disgusting.
I want to hear his explanation.
Just look how rich and inky these shadows are, how bold all the colors are. Some of these exterior shots look like oil paintings. I can already feel you typing this comment and thinking it inside your brain, so hold on.
What?
I get it. Yes, Dean Cundey is a master cinematographer that's worked with John Carpenter and Steven Spielberg and a plethora of other amazing directors. And yes, he also shot on 35mm film, but I do not think digital cameras are the reason why things look so boring.
I agree with that.
There is an element to digital cameras that I think is contributing to this gray, sludgy aesthetic. And it's three little words.
What?
High dynamic range.
Take a seat.
When digital cameras were first starting to get used for bigger cinema productions, they were lower dynamic range, which means the highlights clipped a lot easier and the shadows were usually noisy and you couldn't see anything. This led to people calling digital the video look. Nobody liked the video look.
Look it up.
And so the industry responded, and it's been responding every year since those first digital
2002.
cinema cameras. They're getting better and better. They can see more. The dynamic range keeps getting higher and higher, and that makes it easier than ever to film things because you can essentially see everything now with these cameras. But just because you can see everything doesn't mean you should.
You're gray.
I am.
When we watch these old movies, even though they're shot on film, which has great dynamic range, there is contrast. The shadows are rich and dark. The highlights are bright and punchy. We clipped out windows all the time. Spielberg still clips his windows. And it creates such dynamic, interesting, and bold cinematography. Remember this movie from 2007? Just a little high school teen comedy called Superbad. I swear to you, for the longest time, up until like this year, I was entirely convinced this movie was shot on film. It wasn't. I was wrong. This movie was shot on the Panavision Genesis HD.
And it was shot pretty well, too.
Dynamic range than an iPhone. Not only does Superbad have great contrast, but look at the production design and wardrobe, the intentionality.
Yeah.
The fact that this car is red was a choice. The fact that these interiors have rich 70s mahogany and wood and brown carpet. These are all intentional choices, and it's why the image looks so great. It's not because it was shot on a digital camera. It's not because it was shot on film. It's because choices were made, smart choices. You know, when a 6-episode series of TV has like 2,000 or 3,000 VFX shots, it's very difficult to say, hey, you know what? I want like a hard slash of light to come through the window and pool on a character, and I want some nice light here on the eyes.
That is a good shot. That's a great fucking shot.
That room won't even be the same room anymore. They're gonna say, you know what? That window, we don't even want that window anymore. The light doesn't make any sense. We gotta reshoot this whole thing. So what do? We shoot it bland. We shoot it boring. We light it flat. We don't commit. There's a lack of intention in the way we are creating so many things these days.
Now you turn up in the set and everything, the cameras see everywhere. There's too much latitude. There's green screens everywhere, which, you know, I can teach any idiot to light a green screen in 20 minutes.
I don't know why so many filmmakers like this raw, nearly log-looking image. I can make this look like Deadpool and Wolverine, but why would I do that? I want contrast. I want this to be dark.
I like the
don't want
contrast.
to see everything here. This is what makes the image feel cinematic. It's this contrast between the bright parts and the dark parts.
Yes.
If you just go on YouTube and watch some camera reviews, look at the comments, and don't do this because that's a scene you really don't want to be a part of these days. But go watch some camera reviews and look at the comments, and you will always see people saying, "Oh, the highlights look very digital. They're clipping a little too soon. I don't have enough detail in my shadows." Why do we need to see all of this? I also think we're legitimately losing the talent to do this stuff and the taste. I've joked about this before, but David Fincher's Seven is an example of a movie that I just don't think we know how to make anymore. I don't think there's crews out there or people, cinematographers, the directors. I don't even think David Fincher knows how to make this movie ever again, which is ironic because David Fincher is a pioneer at digital cinematography, and Zodiac is one of the best examples of what you can do with a digital camera.
David
It's one of the
Fincher
first
is
mainstream
really
budget
good.
movies shot on digital, and it stood the test of time. It still looks better than 80 to 90% of the stuff coming out today. But even David Fincher is not immune to the criticism of things looking clinical and sterile. And even the 7 remaster, we're seeing more detail. They're bringing up the shadows. You're seeing more in the image than we originally did. We're losing a little bit of that contrast. I want you to go back to like 2014 and just throw on any digital movie, because I can almost guarantee they all look good. Go watch James Mangold's The Wolverine or Drive. These are shot on Arri's first digital cinema camera, and come on, look at this. And the technology has only gotten better.
They
and
do look
easier
good.
and more accessible, but for some reason, with all of these advancements, we've never been less creative.
It's fine. I'll be fine.
Really disgusting.
So look, I'm not expecting everyone to shoot exactly like Dean Cundy. I just want us to aspire to that greatness. And also, I sympathize with modern
All right, he got a
filmmakers.
point.
I get it. I want cameras to keep getting better because
Yeah.
it makes it more flexible for us to make those decisions later, but we shouldn't be relying on it as a crutch. We need to make intentional decisions as we're filming things. And we shouldn't use low budgets or streaming platforms as an excuse to be dull and boring. And nor should we use realism as an excuse, because that's a defense for this flat look, because we want it to be real. Real life is full of color and contrast. It's beautiful. I know that filmmaking is
I do agree with him right there. I do agree that movies, like when you watch 90s movies or 2000 movies, like late early 2000s, yes, their movies are shot a certain way. Cinematography is very important for how a movie is. It's probably the most underrated part. Of course, the story is great, but yeah, he's right with this. The contrast. I never looked at it this way, so maybe I'm not gonna shit on the guy from Whoville. He has a point. He has a point that the movies do not look like movies. I wouldn't go that far, but I've never looked at it from this lens. So this is very informative. Who is this guy? I don't know who this guy is. I've seen this video just clicked in my feed, and I was like, let me go see what he's talking about. But yeah, this is a very informative, and I think the video almost over. But let's let him finish up.
a complicated, messy endeavor with a million moving parts. It's a volatile combination of taste, talent, money, sacrifice, and a whole lot of luck. But ultimately, it's a medium for audiences, and the audience has the final say. And it's pretty clear we want movies to look like movies.
Okay. Beautiful. Good job, buddy. I don't know who this guy is, but good job. Good job. That was a great video. I even like how his video was shot. I wish I can get mine, shot as beautifully as his. I don't have a great camera. It's a $60 camera, webcam I got right here. But yeah, okay. All right, I'm not gonna lie. He gave me something to think about. I didn't know he was gonna come from this angle. I thought he was gonna come from a boring, over-recycled, used criticism of cinematography. Ooh, that word kicks my ass all the time. But yes, I thought he was gonna come from that angle. But it is very refreshing and informative. I'm gonna give this guy a like. Whoville guy. I might subscribe to Whoville. What's his name? Patrick Tomaso. Yeah. Oh, 140. Yeah, this dude got a lot of. Yeah, it's a pretty good video. Well shot. Good info. It's great. Maybe he's like a film student or something. But yeah, I I was just getting tired of people always saying because it's new you gotta hate it, and everything from the 90s is always the best thing ever. Like, it's so lazy and so fucking repeated. Like, we can't do great things if you keep shitting on it every time we try to do great things. But he does have a point. It does look like sometimes they're cutting corners because of money, but the problem also is it's hard for companies to invest into new projects instead of proven projects that they can revive, because nostalgia is a drug and it hurts creativity also. And you're not gonna have companies willing to put their money like into risk it into a new project with new ideas, because a proven project give you proven results, give you proven money. So I guess that's why movies don't look like movies anymore. But I like the angle he came from, the cinematography, and he's right. I never noticed that. I thought he was gonna say some like bullshit, but he really did it. You did it, Whoville guy. But okay, tell me what you think. I don't know if you even gonna watch this. I got 31 subscribers. Woo! Shout out to you guys. Stay critical. Your Lord will be back with more content to stay locked in. All right, peace.